Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you might be joining from. I am HR Funk, and welcome to my Midweek Mystique live stream. So named because it's the middle of the week, and there's a great deal of mystique surrounding why any of you would take time out of your day to listen to anything I have to say. I do appreciate everyone who is tuning in, and I know we've got a few people already. Josh Twyman is here. Terry Barnes was the first one to chime in. Thomas White, how are you, Tom? Thanks to everyone for joining. And I put this together this afternoon largely because there just wasn't a lot going on, and it seemed like a good time that we might be able to get together and have a chat. I also have one, not really a mystery or answer to a question to reveal, but something that I want to make you all aware of regarding a short video from a week or so ago. I also have some channel developments coming in the near future I want to talk to you about. And largely, I want to just have a chat and answer any questions or respond to any comments that any of you might have. And I think we had somebody else join in here, Art Grote. Thanks for joining, Art. And Texas Jim, or Texas JM, thank you for joining. A lot of things going on here in the news lately. Obviously, we have the major indictment from a couple of days ago. That whole situation just saddens me for our country, really. When I think about how that all plays out on the world stage, it feels like something would be happening in a third world country somewhere. And I really hate to see that all going on in our great country. But obviously it is, and we're just all going to have to sit back and watch it as it runs its course. Beyond the national news, I've got a little bit of, I guess, local or HR Funk news. There's going to be a live stream coming up in about a week, and I'm going to have some folks come on from a local training concern called Combined Arms Training LLC. And this is an organization that I'm affiliated with. And they're going to be talking about some of the training that they're offering, and some of the individuals that are providing the training are going to be here. So any of you in the Ohio area, or I should say the surrounding area, I know that we've traveled as far away as Colorado to conduct some training. So some of you might want to watch for that coming up, and just see some of the things that we're going to be offering regarding not only firearms training, but also some other types of defensive training that are going to be offered by Combined Arms Training, or CAT LLC rather. And I know we saw some other people join in. Bill 1717 is here. Thank you for joining. So to just watch the video from this morning, and I hope you all enjoyed that video this morning. That was one that I enjoy doing. This is another one of these companies where I've met the folks who work there, and I really like working with them. It's another relatively small company, and there's always that sense of friendly relationship working back with the smaller companies, or back and forth with the smaller companies, that I don't think really exists with the really large players in the industry. And I like getting the word out on some of these products and making you aware of them. You know, the discount code is fantastic. I had someone comment earlier today that they felt like some of my videos lately were more like infomercials. And I wanted to make that particular individual aware of the fact that one of the things that I've been doing since I've retired is trying to make more and more contacts with people inside the industry, so that I have more material that I'm able to bring to you in these videos, or not the live streams, but obviously the actual videos that I post. And as a result of that, it's working pretty well. I have met some people, I have made some contacts, I've got some products coming in, which is fantastic. And I get kind of excited with some of these because I'm able to get the information out to all of you. Even so, whenever you see a video that I've produced, I am giving you my honest opinion on those products. I'm not shading things. I'm not trying to sell things. I am trying to let you all know what I think of these products. And one of the things with Isotunes, the company that was involved in the video today, is they actually offered me essentially a commission for any products that they sold as a result of the video that I made. And the way they would track that is through the use of the discount code that I showed all of you at the end of the video. And I told them I really did not want that. I don't want payment for what I am doing, because then it starts to feel like an infomercial. It starts to feel like I'm obligated somehow to give a certain review or a certain take on the various products. And I don't want that. So what they offered was a chance for the discount code to go to all of you. So if you purchase something from IsoTunes using that discount code, you get 10% off, but I don't get a kickback from that because I didn't want a kickback from that. I wanted all of you to have a chance to save a little bit of money and to be able to try out those products. So if you take advantage of that, I hope you like the products. I hope they work well for you, but don't feel like I'm trying to do this to somehow make a profit on the purchases you're making, because I am not. I did recently hear of one of the well-known YouTubers who actually charges, and the sum that was told to me was $10,000 for a review of the products that show up on that particular channel. And I was kind of blown away by that. I thought, really? And of course, it's one of the larger channels that gets a lot of views, particularly a lot of views from younger folks. And I just was amazed by that. I do not do that. I don't charge anything for my reviews. I never will be someone who charges for my reviews, because if you fall into that trap and you are charging X amount of dollars for a review that you're providing on a given product, then it's in your best interest to make sure that the product review you are providing is a positive one. Otherwise, that company or other companies in the future are not going to be inclined to send you more products, so you can make that money and make whatever ad revenue comes in from YouTube and whatever else. I am not interested in doing that. I have never done that, and I never will. And I know I've been rambling here for a while, and I want to say hi to some other people that have joined in. Vic from Fallout is here. I haven't seen you for a while, Vic. I hope you're doing well. Hope everything is going well in the Czech Republic there. And Jeff Tim, not sure what to say what is in reference to. Sunsea Surf 1000 is here from, you're going to have to help me out. MN, I can never remember if that's Montana or Minnesota. So give me some clarification there. Sorry about that. I just can never keep those straight in my mind. And Josh Twyman is talking back and forth to Jeff Tim. Vic from Fallout, like your videos. I think they are honest and professional. You are a professional shooter. Thank you, Vic. So you know how weapons work. Thanks. And I try to convey that, obviously I don't know everything there is to know about every firearm ever manufactured. I've had the good benefit throughout my life of a lot of good training. Firearms have been a lifelong passion, so I have made them a study, if you will. And I try to pass on the things that I've learned to all of you. And I never try to come across as the final word on anything or the expert. I tell people, I don't know what the word expert means. It's one of those words that gets thrown around a lot. I've had people throw it my way, and I'm very uncomfortable with that. I would think of myself more as a lifelong student than any sort of an authority on any of the things that I discuss. So that's sort of the perspective that I'm coming from. I hope the information all of you get is helpful. I hope that at times the videos are entertaining, and I try to strike that balance between entertainment and providing good information. And I hope you all enjoy the videos. Speaking of which, this is the mystery that I talked about at the very opening of the show. This is that experiment that I talked about in a short video a week or so ago, a cartridge known as the 7.62 by 63 millimeter. And some of you have been around the block enough times that you saw through this right away, and you knew that the other more common name for this cartridge is the 30-06 Springfield. And I made that short partly because I was annoyed with YouTube and some of their lack of understanding of a lot of the things we discuss on firearms related content or in firearms related videos. And everything I said in that video was 100% the truth. This cartridge is known, although not commonly, as a 7.62 by 63 millimeter. It can propel a 155 grain bullet at about 2,800 feet per second. It's not a Magnum cartridge. It's capable of very good accuracy. But I was indicating in that short how someone can come onto a YouTube video and say everything that is 100% true and accurate, but still give kind of a misleading presentation. And we see that from time to time. And I was just demonstrating it with this. The funny thing is, YouTube demonetized that short. They actually were demonstrating their lack of understanding. Apparently, they thought the 7.62 by 63 millimeter, aka the 30-06, was some dreaded new round that was capable of, devastation and one thing, which it is. Obviously, we've seen that throughout history. The 30-06 has been used in 2 world wars. It was used in the Korean conflict. It was used into the Vietnam era. And obviously, it is capable of some severe devastation. But it's also now become a traditional hunting round. It is a target round. So I was having some fun with YouTube, and I wasn't even really all that upset that they demonetized the short, because I thought it was amusing as they were demonstrating their lack of any sort of firearms knowledge. And again, I've been rambling and not paying attention to the comments. Vic from Fallout was sick and tired, but I saw a really cool weapon. We'll send you an email. Okay, cool. Thanks, Vic. I appreciate that. Henry Schmidt says, hi, Chief. How about some words of advice on starting to use red dot pistol sights? I've actually made some videos on that. And a lot of people, I think, and maybe I was in the same boat at one time, have this idea that there's this sort of seamless transition to the use of a red dot optic on a handgun. And it's very quick and very easy, sort of like the transition to a red dot optic on a rifle. And that's really not the case, because there's not the stability of the platform like you get with a shoulder fire weapon. There is definitely more of a learning curve with the red dot optic. And I think a lot of it requires a great deal of training. I think it's a good idea to start out with something like either the circle dot reticles, like you see on the Hilux, the TD3C, or the Holosun 507C, where you've got the circle, the large circle around the small dot. Because as you come up, usually you can see some portion of that circle and make the correction that you need to in your sights. Also, Holosun has the ACSS Vulcan reticle that they are offering these days. And hold on a second, I'm having some technical difficulties here. There we go. That they are offering these days, which has an even larger circle to help you out as you're getting used to that presentation. And I still say that the use of iron sights is faster. And I really don't care who it is. I think even the competitors out there who are very accustomed to using red dot sights, if they were using iron sights, would be just as fast, if not faster, because they're just quicker to pick up. The only reason that I'm making that transition to the micro red dot optic on handguns is because my eyesight, as you can see, I'm wearing my reading glasses now to help read the comments down the side of the screen. And because of that, my front sight has become somewhat fuzzy, and I'm looking to maintain the same ability when it comes to shooting that I've always had, particularly shooting at distance. And the micro red dot is a asset when it comes to shooting as your vision starts to fade. But if I still had my 20-something-year-old vision, I would not be looking at red dot sights at all. And beyond that, like I said, just practice, 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 train, 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 and get yourself acclimated to using the red dots. Josh Twyman, going to miss your videos. I'll be binging when I get back. Where are you headed to, Josh? You're going on a deployment or going somewhere else where you're not going to be able to watch? If so, best of luck to you and stay safe. Jeff Tim, just unexpected and unannounced. I put up a video announcement and I put up a community post about 2 hours ago to try to get the word out to everyone. And based on the numbers of responses I saw to those, it looks like YouTube did not distribute those at all. So I apologize, Jeff. I did try to get that out. Robert K. Finally caught another live stream. Good. I'm glad you made it here. Terry Barnes, you learn a lot from watching your videos. Good. I'm glad that like I said, I'm really trying to convey information and provide some entertainment. That's what I'm looking for. Albert Mitchell thought that was 30-06. Yep, it was. And again, a lot of you saw through that right away, but based on some of the comments, there were some folks that thought, wow, this sounds like a cool cartridge, And like I said, I was not trying to make anyone look or sound or feel foolish. That was not what I was intending to do at all. I really was just trying to show how someone could, once again, give completely accurate, truthful information, but still give a misleading presentation. David Cashel is here. Day late, $1 short. No, we're just actually getting started good. We just went live. I guess it's been 17 minutes already, so we've been going a little bit longer than I realized. But no, we're just getting a real good start. David Cashel, I lived in a third world country, and this current mess is exact. I know that it's driving me crazy. Be positive. Hello to you. And let me scroll down here a little bit. Henry Schmidt, do you feel confident using your red dot on duty or carry pistols? At this point, I do. I'm getting to the point where I'm feeling a lot more comfortable with them. And like I said, there's just always been that learning curve there, but I'm feeling much, much more confident with them than I used to. Jeff Tim, the threat focused enthusiasts say they haven't noticed a change in accuracy despite vision changes. Yeah, I know. And it's funny because threat focus, not all that many years ago, was called point shooting. It's the exact same concept, but now it has this sexy new name of threat focus, and suddenly that's the new rage. Everything old is eventually new again. Ray Bodie, Messiah Ayub suggested getting your bifocal set higher than your glasses. Yeah, and when I shoot, these are my reading glasses, and these are a plus 1.5 or something like that. And this is all it takes to get a nice, clear focus on my sights. In fact, I was shooting an AR the other day with the old style iron sights, and I put these things on, and I was putting shots in the X-ring from 200 yards. So it doesn't take much at this point to get that focus back to where it needs to be. But I only wear these things when I read or when I'm shooting on the range with something with iron sights. Otherwise, I don't wear them, which is why I'm gravitating toward the red dots, because I probably am not going to be able to say, wait, Mr. Bad Guy, hold on while I put on my reading glasses. Okay, now let's have our gunfight. I saw that email come through, Vic, and I will take a look at that shortly after the show ends. By the way, a reminder, if anyone wants to join as a guest, shoot me an email at the email address you see going across the bottom of the screen there, hrfunk@zoominternet.net. I will send you a link to the show, and you can come on. We'll do the split screen thing. If you have your camera activated, everyone will be able to see you. If you don't want to be seen, you can join just by audio, and we can have a discussion back and forth. So, and let me look quick and just make sure nobody has taken advantage of that I missed. I don't think so. I don't think I saw an email come across. And no, I see that. Oh, wow. That is a cool Model 3 that you sent me photos of, Vic. I wish I could put that up on the video for everyone to see. This is a great Model 3 Smith & Wesson. Wow. And it looks to be one of the Russian contract Model 3s because it's got Russian writing on the top. That is extremely cool. Again, I wish I could show this to everybody. Sorry, everyone. I'm just oohing and eyeing over those photos. But no, it doesn't look like anyone has taken me up on the offer to appear via email link. But if any of you want to, like I said, send me an email at that address going across the bottom. I'll bring you on, and we can actually have a discussion here. Albert Mitchell, or I assume it's Mitchell or Michael. My eyesight sucks. Yeah, and my eyesight is still pretty good, and I turned 57 in just a couple of weeks, so I'm pretty happy with where my eyesight is, but it's just not what it once was, which annoys me, by the way. Tony York, I think you would lose too much focus on the target looking through. Yeah, I don't know about the use of bifocals. I've got some shooting glasses that actually have vision correcting lenses that are kind of like a bifocal, only they're at the top of the lens instead of the bottom. And those work pretty well. But still, there is that transition back and forth. I don't think I would want to try to wear those things all the time. Candyman Graham 83, love your videos. Thank you very much. Ray Bodie, where no line and had it set for computer work. It translated well in shooting. That's good to know. Jeff Tim tried trifocals for a while. Yeah, let me bring this up here. Tried trifocals for a while with the middle of the computer screen. They work for sights at arm's length. Now I use 3 31.5-inch monitors. Whatever gets you there, Jeff. Vic from Fallout, made in 1874 in Ludwig Leoville. I'm pronouncing that wrong, I'm sure. Berlin. Really? I thought that was a Smith & Wesson. Was it made under the Smith & Wesson contract? Jeff Tim, is that a Model 3 Turk in 44 Winchester centerfire? Now I'm going to have to go back and see if it's got a cartridge designation marked on it. I'm not seeing one. Vic, can you help out with that and let us know what it's chambered in? Dewan, any thoughts on the new Smith & Wesson 10mm PC? No. I am a lifelong Smith & Wesson fan, going all the way back to my earliest days as a police officer. I always supported that company. I went to multiple armorers courses that they offered. I have been to the Smith & Wesson factory a couple of times. I have always really supported the company and been a fan of the products they've produced up until the last few years. And I don't know. I have just been very lukewarm to what they've been coming out with lately. I mean, I suppose that pistol in 10mm is cool. The 10mm cartridge is a good cartridge, although kind of expensive if you're not a hand loader. But I just look at some of the things they're churning out lately, and it looks like fishing lures designed to catch fishermen rather than to catch fish. I feel like as a company, it seems like they're losing some perspective. And maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just getting older, and the new flash and whiz and bang doesn't appeal to me like it does some of the younger shooters. But I just don't see the practicality that I once did. If you look at something like, say, a Model 28, or moving forward into the auto era, some of the early Smith & Wesson Model 39s, or the third gen pistols that they were building, and even the early M&Ps, they were all purpose built for defending either police officers or private citizens from someone who was trying to do them serious harm. Now it seems like they're churning out stuff that's kind of Gucci, trendy, whatever, and I'm just not nearly as impressed by it. Again, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just old and grouchy and I need to go tell the kids to get off my lawn or whatever, but I'm just not as thrilled by the Smith & Wesson products that I see now, much like the FPC that I reviewed a couple of weeks ago. It just, I didn't think it was that great. It shot well. It shot very well. And it was fun, but it was just big and clunky, and it doesn't come with sights and, all the things that I said in that review. So sorry if that was a rant. Graybeard, HR do basic military style 1911 hammer bite more than the newer upswept beaver tail. Is this a large price difference? I have never experienced hammer bite with a normal 1911 A1 style grip safety. Now, there are some people who do, and I've seen people that do. I've seen people with the railroad track marks over their thumbs. I should say this thumb, but I've seen that. And I know people with very fleshy hands can sometimes get some hammer bite or get some slide bite when they're shooting the 1911. I've never experienced that. If you're someone who does experience that, the newer beaver tail style upswept grip safeties can help keep your hand from experiencing that. So it kind of depends on you and your hands and how you grip the pistol and all that. I've never experienced it. If you have that issue, then the newer grip safeties will help you with that. Command Center 10-8, good afternoon. What are your thoughts on the Smith & Wesson 69 2.7? I used to have a 3-inch Model 629 variant. And I would normally load it with 3 44 specials, and the last two chambers I had loaded up with 44 magnums. And I always thought if I went through all 4 of the 44 specials first and still had a problem, I was backing that up with the magnums. And I kind of tend to think the same thing with the Model 69. I see that more as a 44 special for defensive applications. Unless you're carrying it for defense against very large animals, then maybe I see it as a magnum. But I just don't know how often you're going to need the energy of a 44 magnum in a self-defense situation. So that's another one I'm a little lukewarm to. As far as revolvers go, it seems like a nice revolver, but I probably will not be getting one myself. Albert Mitchell, 73 years and 9 months. So not too old to stop counting the months yet. And now I need to catch up here. I've been talking too much and not responding to the comments enough. Jeff Tim, that's Rimfire, the rarest Smith & Wesson of them all. Okay. And I assume that Vic must have responded with the cartridge that was chambered in. I didn't see it if he did. And I'm trying to catch up with where we are. Vic's saying only 2,000 of those made in, then 70,000 in Germany. Okay, I didn't know that. And another in Russia, Tula. 44 Russian. Okay, all right, cool. And the 44 Russian, as a lot of you know, was the precursor to the 44 Special, which has now evolved into the 44 Magnum. So the Russian is a great old-time round. The 44 Russian, I mean. And just going down through the comments here. Henry Schmidt, so true about Smith & Wesson, long-term SIG fan with 30 years, P226 duty use. Today's SIG leaves. The whole industry is going that way. One of the things I like about the Turkish manufacturers that I've been talking about lately, at the top of the list being Tizash, is they're building, what once was our standard industry firearms here, steel and wood and whatever. And even the Poly Striker pistols that they're building are really good quality firearms. And it seems like they're leaving a lot of our domestic producers and even some of the European producers in the dust. I hate to see that, but it's definitely what's happening. Uh, Poobah 187 says, hello there. Recently discovered your channel after having some issues with my Canik MC9. Watched your review and range test of it, then saw your review for the Masada Slim. You seemed disappointed with the MC9. I kind of was. And I was thinking about it after I finished that video, and I wish I had said this during the video. It reminds me of Canik's version of a Glock 26. It just, yeah, I've been so happy and so amazed by the previous two Canik handguns that I own that I really had some high expectations going into that evaluation, and I just felt like the MC9 wasn't really living up to those expectations. The Masada Slim, on the other hand, and I really, really like the full-size Masada pistol. That was one I was going out to the range, and I was thinking, I don't know if I would have liked this thing or not. And by the time I finished shooting, and I think I said this in the video, it really kind of won me over because it shot so well. I can overlook, some of the things like the kind of unusual disassembly and things like that when I have a handgun that performs so well. In fact, I have been thinking about going back to Hot Munitions and buying that Masada Slim. I don't really need it, but I enjoyed shooting it so much. I've been thinking about buying that. And now I lost my place. Tony York, the only revolver left on my list is the Anaconda. Oh, that's a good one to have left on your list. Albert Mitchell, I'm glad you made it here to find me live. Dewan Sig seems to be focused on flashy look, in my opinion. And you know what? Kind of the epitome of that is that new, whatever they're calling it today, XM7 rifle. I saw that at the NRA annual meeting, and I was just not impressed by that at all. Big, heavy, clunky. I have said before, if that ends up being adopted by our military, I hope it is phenomenal. I hope it serves our troops extremely well, but I just don't know what I think about it. Well, I take that back. I'm not crazy about it just from handling it and looking at it myself. Tony York, last trip to the range, lost the front sight pin on my Model 29. That's too bad. Is that a newer one? Yeah, at least you found the site. That's good. Gunmetal Guy USA. Hey, Tony, never knew you watched this channel. Okay, so that's sometimes I don't pick up on the fact that you guys are having conversations back and forth as I'm looking at the chat feed here. Poobah 187 says you've been disappointed with the functioning. Wait a second. Reliability issues, and was looking at the Masada. Yeah, and I had a couple of functioning issues with that one that I had for the test, which I was really surprised by. And let's see if I can catch up here. Chris, again, no notifications of your stream. And I mentioned earlier, I tried to get an announcement out about 2 hours before the stream started. I was hoping it would get the folks, but YouTube just didn't distribute it. So I apologize that you didn't get a notification. Ray Bodie trusts my opinions over most people's facts. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Clemson Johnson just purchased a Gerson P35 PI Ops, Davidson exclusive. How do you like? I love it. Okay, good. That one that I tried a while back, I really liked. Now, I had a couple of functioning issues with that too, but overall, I liked that pistol. And I said in the video, I think that's what FN should have done when they updated the high power rather than that behemoth that they came out with. KD Cowboy, glad you made it, KD. Visiting my used section of the gun shop, paid off. Was watching Henry Long Ranger for weeks. Guy bought it, never fired it, and put it on consignment to the used area. What was it chambered in? I've always been kind of curious about the Long Ranger, just what kind of accuracy you could get with it and everything. So I hope that works well for you. Poobah 187, do you think your expectations for the Canik may have skewed your video? I don't think it skewed it. I think I was just very disappointed with what I saw, and I conveyed that in the comments at the end of the video. I wanted to like that pistol. I went out to the range really wanting to be able to give it a good review. And when I got done, and I don't want to seem overly critical, the accuracy when I took my time was very, very good. It was a tack driver, as I recall, on the first shot, which all the Canics have been that I've been reviewed. That says something. But I think a lot of it was because of the way it fit my hand or didn't fit my hand, and the natural pointing characteristics that it didn't have when I was coming up to shoot and I was throwing some of those shots. Whereas with the Masada, I didn't have those issues. The Masada was putting bullets pretty much right where I wanted it to. So I don't think that it skewed my opinion, but I just think I was very disappointed because of the expectations I had going out there and then the performance that I actually saw. David, I don't know if it's Buzo or Buzzo. It looks like Buzzo. Love the 1911 videos. Thank you. And of course, the 1911 is my favorite handgun platform. Tony York, looks like the 629 is 10 years old. Well, that's unfortunate. It should still have the lifetime service contract. So if you get a hold of Smith & Wesson, they should repair it for you. David Buzzo, what are your thoughts on the Ruger GP100? I've never owned one. I've never owned a Ruger revolver. I have shot Ruger revolvers, and they seem to be very good quality. But I can't really give you a firsthand account of the GP100 because that is one that I haven't shot. I've shot Security 6s. I've shot Service 6s. I've shot Red Hawks and Super Red Hawks, but I've never shot a GP100. Sorry. KD Cowboy is his Henry Long Ranger is in 243 Winchester. Cool. Was hoping for a 308 or a 223, but the price was good. When you get a chance to shoot it, let me know how it does. David Cashel, 2 Scandium Smith & Wesson 1911s, both delivered 3 months apart. Wait a second. 3 years ago. Okay, 3 months apart, 3 years ago with defective mag releases. Where'd that go? This just took a jump. Looks like literally the mags just fell out when firing. Yeah. I don't know what's going on there. I keep hoping when they do move to their new facility, we see a return to the old Smith & Wesson, but we'll see. I've said before, but Smith & Wesson right now, 2023, feels kind of like Remington, I don't know, 2003, maybe. Like it's starting to flail and starting to spiral downward, and I hope they turn things around. Tony York bought a couple of pins and fixed it already. Okay, well, good. At least it's fixed. And I'm getting caught up here. Daywan. Looks like KD Cowboy is talking to Daywan. All right, and I am caught up. And let's see, what else do I have to tell you all about? I mentioned the the 762 by 63 millimeter cartridge. I mentioned the, and if you didn't see it, I'm going to have a chat coming up in about a week with some folks from Combined Arms Training LLC, which is a training concern located here in Ohio, but they do travel. So hopefully, if you have a chance to tune in for that, we'll be able to provide you a lot of information. There is training that's provided for church security teams. There is training provided for basic firearm safety. There is training provided for unarmed self-defense, and just a variety of different sorts of defensive training. It's almost like an a la carte training service for whatever you might need. So hopefully you can tune in when we get to that, as I said, in about a week or so. And what are we up to here? We got 40 people tuned in. That's cool. We've been going for almost 40 minutes. And thanks to everyone who has joined in. I appreciate your participation. that always makes this fun. And it's always a little bit, I don't want to say that I worry, because that would be too strong of a word, but whenever I'm getting ready for a live stream, I'm always sitting here thinking, is anybody actually going to come in and watch this and listen to anything, or am I going to be talking to myself for an hour or so? So it's always reassuring when I have a lot of you that have tuned in, and all the comments coming in, and the questions that come in. I really appreciate that. Thanks to all of you for participating. And I got a few more comments that have come. Albert Michael says, thank you, Sarge. Chats are best. Thank you. I appreciate that. Katie Cowboy, how did your rifle class go? It wasn't actually a class. It was a clinic that we were putting on for new shooters that are interested in service rifle competition. And it was an all women's class or clinic. And I really enjoyed it. I like teaching people to shoot. I like teaching people who know how to shoot better. So that's always very gratifying for me, and especially when I'm teaching an all-female class, because a lot of times women have been brought up to believe that guns are a man's thing, or shooting is a man's thing, and it's really something they can never do. And it's very fun and gratifying to see them not only figure out that they can do it, but they can do it well. And if there's one type of competition where it doesn't make any difference whether you're male, female, or other these days, it is in shooting, because there are women shooters that can be just as competitive as their male counterparts. And to try to get someone started on their way to that is a lot of fun. I enjoy that a lot. Rabbi is here. How you doing, Rabbi? I'm glad you joined. Always glad to see you in the mix. For anyone that doesn't know, Rabbi is our chaplain. He chimes in. You have to be a little careful with what he might say from time to time. But he's a great guy, and I always enjoy his input. And I saw a comment there that I wanted to mention. John G., thanks for breaking up the day with thoughtful insight. Thank you. Thanks, John. I appreciate that. Poobah 187, you're welcome. I enjoy the videos. I've said for a long time, the reason I produce them is for all of you. I am never going to get rich on this YouTube endeavor, and really, that's not even my goal. I enjoy the community. I enjoy exchanging information, and I get a lot of times as much information and knowledge back from all of you as I'm presenting in the videos. So thank you to everyone that participates. Rabbi says, let's see, what is this here? Was there as a student trying hard for an A while wearing? I don't doubt that for a second. In fact, I think I saw you there. Sherman Sales, you're going to shoot at Camp Perry anymore? I was going to try the President's 100, but we don't have a real president. You know what? Whenever I shoot in the President's 100, I'm shooting for the president who actually started that match, being President Theodore Roosevelt. I'm not necessarily shooting for the current president who is in office. So that's the way I rectify that in my mind. As far as me being at Camp Perry, I hope to, but there's going to be a lot of things going on around that midsummer time for me, and I don't know for sure if I'm going to make it. If I do, I think what I might do is go up and just shoot in some of the fun matches, shoot in a Garand match, shoot in a modern military match, maybe shoot in a vintage sniper rifle match. But I don't know if I'm going to be in any of the big matches like the President's 100 or the actual national match. We'll just have to see. Tony York, in my life, women tend to be better marksmen than men. They can be. They certainly can be. Rabbi's passing up Bud Lights after the class. So again, why am I not surprised? And just working my way down through the comments again. Chris had a Glock 29 that was an absolute POS, was with malfunctions, but it fit the bill. Glock 20 was a little too big for my hand. And that's So I've always noticed with the Glock 20 and the Glock 21, even the newer ones are just really big to try to hold on to. I've never cared for either one of those particularly, and a lot of you know that I'm not a huge Glock fan to begin with. Day one, I have a 4.25 inch CSX and the 5.7, and he's talking to KD Cowboy. So that's not even a comment for me. Ray Bodie likes the big guns. Well, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. KD Cowboy, any comment on the pistol brace flim flam? Yes, it's obnoxious. I think I mentioned in the last live stream, where I know I've talked about it, I did go ahead and do the registration for my what was formerly an AR pistol. And I know a lot of you have not, and I'm not asking for a show of hands as to who has or hasn't or anything else. But the sole reason I did that is because my AR pistol, which is now my SBR, or at least it will be as soon as I get the tax stamp back, is because I didn't want to have that firearm and not be able to use it in a video. Should I have a video where it would be appropriate? I also didn't want to use it in a video, having not registered it, and get a knock on my door in a couple of days with somebody with a search warrant saying, we're here for that SBR that you didn't register. So being in that sort of a conundrum, I just decided I would go ahead and go through the rigmarole, which was obnoxious. I actually started working on the first e-form of an evening several weeks ago. I think it was May the 16th. And I did part of it. I thought, this is a pain. I saved it, went back the next day, finished it the next day. Then I had to go and get fingerprints. And here's a funny story. In order to get fingerprinted, I got a hold of our sheriff's department. And the woman who was working in the particular office that did that only knew how to do electronic fingerprints. And I said, if I can come there, if you've got the stuff, I've done ink fingerprints for years and years and years and years and years. I can do the fingerprints if you've got the stuff. And she said, well, yeah, I've got the stuff. So I drove her to the sheriff's department, went in, fingerprinted myself on a couple of 10 print cards, and then took those and mailed them into ATF. And as yet, I have not heard anything back. So that's my story with registering my now AR SBR. Joe Jones, recently retired deputy sheriff, 27 years, just found your channel a few weeks ago. Really enjoy it. Just wanted to say hello. Oh, hello to you, Joe. And thanks. I'm glad you found the channel. Thanks for joining in the chat. I try to do a live stream a couple of times a month, and I should probably try to up that, but I'm glad you made it here. We got a great bunch here, friendly bunch. Ignore Rabbi. He gets a little out of hand once in a while, but you don't have to worry too much about anybody else. Ray Bodie joined GOA. I joined GOA too, of course. And here's another obnoxious thing. With all those lawsuits that were filed, the courts knew that the clock was ticking. And the first decision we got was, a week before the deadline? So by that, how many people, myself included, by that point had to make a decision or felt like they had to make a decision because they didn't want to wait till the last minute. And then literally like on the last day, we got a couple of decisions. That is, and having dealt with courts all my life, I shouldn't be surprised by that. I know how judges can be, but still, that is just obnoxious to keep so many people waiting for so long. And then at the literal last second, issue some injunctions. And then the injunctions to begin with were pretty ambiguous. We had to come back and get clarification even after the deadline as to how, who all those injunctions applied to. So yeah, how aggravating and obnoxious is that whole situation? Rabbi liked the story on the fingerprints. Robert KF says, my favorite, most accurate pistol has to be the CZ SP01. A great pistol. Very good pistol. And just going down through here looking for more comments for me. Rabbi's mad at me. Jeff Tim said, if I wanted to shoot a long arm, would have saved up for a bull pop, but despite the lack of quality, really want one of those silly Kel-Tecs. And Kel-Tec is making not bad firearms. There was a time that I would not look at a Kel-Tec, and I've told this story before. 20-something years ago, a bunch of people at my police department bought the Kel-Tec P11s that were relatively new at that time, and they came out to the range for me to qualify them, and I saw problem after problem after problem, and I did not want anything to do. It took me about 20 years to finally buy a Kel-Tec product. And the ones they're churning out now aren't too bad. My Sub 2000 has been a great firearm. And some of the other stuff they're coming out with is innovative. At least they're innovating. They're coming out with something kind of cool, something new, something a little different. So I give Kel-Tec some credit for that. Rabbi's trying to get me to buy drinks. Bill 1717 is leaving us. Thanks for joining, Bill. Glad you were here. I hope you have a great day. Tony York, Supreme Court is historically slow. They're kind of moving at light speed, though, with some of these cases they're at least considering. All right. I think I'm caught up with the comments. Oh, by the way, if you post a comment and I don't respond to it, sometimes it's really hard for me to catch all of them as they're going down the screen. So if you posted something and I didn't respond, feel free to repost it. I'm not intentionally ignoring you or anything else. I just plain didn't see it. Rabbi says, Kel-Tec because Fortnite players will eventually buy guns. Terry Barnes, yeah, Taurus is one of those brands. I'm leery of Taurus because it seems like if you get a good one, then they work very well. But there's probably a 60-40 chance of getting a good one. And if you get one that's not so good, then it's not so good. So I've just, I don't know. I've always been a little leery of Taurus, like I said, and I kind of still tend to shy away from them. Although I wouldn't mind trying Taurus Taurus Model 92, the Beretta 92 clone, because I've always been curious as to just how well they would compare to the actual Beretta. So maybe someday you'll see one of those in a video. Tony York, Justice Barrett asking Illinois to explain their position was a shock. Yeah. And I just want Kip Caniper, do you have any comment on the White House flag? You know what? I told my wife the other day, I said, on one hand, with all the other stuff that's going on there, I feel like, who cares? On the other hand, it's the White House. Yeah, do we really? I don't know. We don't see, I don't know, an NRA flag flown once in a while. We don't see, other flags for other groups flown once in a while. It feels a lot like the current occupant of the White House pandering to a group of people who are going to overwhelmingly vote for him anyway. But, still that virtue signaling and all that coming from our current president. So I guess I'm not surprised, but like I said, I don't know. Who cares? I guess I'm getting to that point with the shenanigans we're seeing in Washington these days. Chris, haven't seen a Kel-Tec that actually runs in person. Had a bad P3AT and KSG7. That's too bad. Like I said, my Sub 2000 has been a great firearm, and I keep thinking I would like to try some of these others that they're churning out these days. Tony York has a Rossi made by Taurus. It's been great. You know what I think are kind of cool are the Rossi lever actions. I wouldn't mind trying one of those sometime. Oh, by the way, I am trying to get a Henry Homesteader. I think those things are just kind of cool, and I'm working on trying to get one now, so stay tuned. I might hopefully have one of those on the channel before too long. Day one, have to disagree on that one. GX4 is amazing. The customer service. Okay, good. I'm glad you had a good experience. BR, after your recent videos on the PC carbines, do you have any plans to try a Beretta CX4 Storm? You know what? I think Hot Munitions might have one of those things, and they would probably loan it to me if I ask them. So maybe I'll give it a try. Stay tuned. We'll see. KD Cowboy picked up a Ruger Single 6. Yeah, and I saw your email on that. I saw that revolver. Might have to look into some IsoTunes ear protection. Fired one of the 22 Magnums. Yeah, they are a little on the loud side. And by the way, if you guys didn't see that video this morning, IsoTunes, they gave me a discount code. So if you use HR Funk, I think it's HR Funk 10, all capital letters, HR Funk, and then 10, you get 10% off. And they've also got a Father's Day sale going on right now. So if you've wanted to get some electronic ear protection for a while, especially if you want to get some Bluetooth enabled. And by the way, I've got my Caliber BT right here. And I keep saying I use this thing all the time. I thought about using this during the live stream because I've got it Bluetooth paired to the computer along with my iPhone. But I really didn't see the need to. I've actually used these things. Shouldn't even tell this story. I use these things in bed because I can watch YouTube videos on my phone while my wife's sleeping if I'm awake and not disturb her. So I keep coming up with new ways to use these things. Okay, Rabbi, I can just get it out of your system, say whatever you've got coming, but I have been known to do that. And I'm missing comments again. Rabbi thought the Taurus wasn't a clone, as I understand it, it's actually not. The way I understand the Taurus, the story, Beretta went there, they set things up, it was produced under license, and then Taurus bought the machinery from Beretta to continue producing the 92, and that's what we have nowadays as the Taurus Model 92. So I believe you are correct. David Cashel has a 44 Special Rossi, bought on a whim, and surprisingly, darn good revolver. Good. And I'm behind in the comments now, so I'm just sort of scrolling down through here. Jeff Barron going to attend the next appointment at Social Security top list. Don't do that. Spare everybody that. He'll like the clown expect a circus. I can't disagree with that. Terry Barnes, Joe Biden is like a slinky, not too much to look at, but a load of laughs on a flight of stairs. Yep. Just in case you guys didn't get that, there it is quick. That's kind of clever. Red Dirt, the Henry reminds me of a Remington 742. The Henry reminds me of a Remington 742. It kind of reminds me of the old Marlin Camp carbine. That's, I think, one of the things that appeals to me about it. KD Cowboy, Honest Outlaw, reviewed Homesteader, had feeding issues. I don't know if his was an actual production firearm or if his was pre-production. He tends to get firearms ahead of time with the pre-production so that it can be the video can be released on the day the product launches. So I don't know. That's why I'd kind of like to try one now that's a little bit later on and see how they're running. Kip Caniper says, thank you. Today is my Today's my birthday. The flag's very important. Springfield 1911 feed issues. Any remedies? First one would be magazines. Second would be try different ammunition. If that doesn't work, then without actually seeing what kind of issues you're having, I don't know. Could be an extractor that's too tight. I just can't say without actually seeing what's happening. And just scrolling down through some of these now. Wow, I must be way behind. I thought I was caught up, but I guess not. Dewan, the Air Force Academy is right down the road. That's cool. So I take it you're in Colorado. Rabbi says like a trip to Thailand, the PX4, expect a hot love affair for 2 weeks, then you're suddenly over it and need someone. There's something wrong with you. And I'm just scrolling down through here. Ray Bodie is leaving us. Thanks for joining, Ray. I'm glad you were here. John G. sent you an email. Such finished his review of the MC14T. It's not published yet. He referenced your video and the issues you had. And I thank you. I appreciate that. I met Such several years ago at the NRA annual meeting. The last time it was in Indianapolis, not this most recent time. He seemed like a nice guy. I had a short conversation with him. Just a good individual. So I appreciate his referencing my video. Jonathan Jackson, hello to you. Albert Mickle is Michael Mickle. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. In Colorado, cool. Jeff Barron, any experience with Dan Wesson revolvers? No, other than just looking at them and picking them up and handling them. I don't think I've ever fired one. I'd like to, but I haven't. Looks like Tony York is bowing out. Thanks for joining us, Tony. I appreciate you participating. Have a great day. Uh-oh, I must have missed something because Command Center 10.8 says, Kip Happener, it's disgusting. Hold on. What did I miss? I missed something up there. I'm not going to be able to keep up with it. Day one, has anyone had any more news about the new pistol Carr is supposed to be coming out with? I have not. So I don't know if anyone else has, but I have not. Bob Charles, let's bring this up here. Quick question on the Ruger PC carbine video. Isn't the factory mag for the SR9 and not a security 9? I took that information off their website, and I believe that it indicated it was for the SR9, but I could be mistaken about that. I am not an expert when it comes to Ruger pistol magazines. So I would say if you have a question about that, refer to the website, and that should be able to clear it up for you. Rabbi has given somebody advice about flying. I would take Rabbi's advice and do the exact opposite. Katie Cowboy, so I used Henry 44 Magnum carbine. Any thoughts? No, not really. I would say I really like Henry firearms. I like Henry as a company, but I've not used a lot of their products. I have an AR7 that is a great little rimfire. I have tested their what was it? It was when the side loader was brand new. The brass frame slide loader in 35 Remington. It had some issues. Now their customer service was fantastic. That rifle was returned to them. They repaired it. It came back. It shot better. So I really like them as a company. I want to test some more of their products, which is why I'm trying to get the Homesteader in. But I really don't have any experience with the 44 Magnum lever action, so I can't give you any firsthand thoughts. Mark Hankins, BRG versus Tezos PX9. I've not shot the PX9, so I can't really give you a direct comparison. I have shot the BRG, and I was very impressed by that. If you saw my review on it, it surprised me in a good way. It had some little issues. The sights were a little off and one thing and another. But overall, I thought for whatever that thing cost, $250 or something. And I think the person that loaned it to me actually bought it for considerably less than that. For that kind of a price, I can put up with a few, rough edges that I can smooth out as time goes on. So I thought the BRG was a great firearm. Jeff Barron stopped down here next trip to South Carolina and cure you of the Daniel. We will probably be in South Carolina either the last week of July or the first week of August, because I know we have to take my daughter back down there, and my wife has to make her obligatory trip to the beach. So we'll be down south of Charleston. We typically go to Folly Beach when we go down there. So I'm not sure where you might be, Jeff, but I will try to keep you up to speed on our travel plans. Dewan, go ahead and get yourself an FN Scar 17. I'd like to try one of those. I think they might have one of those at Hot Munitions too. You know what? Over there in their gun vault, they've got it's a semi-auto version, but it's a Browning BAR. And I said something last time. I said, I really need to try that. And the gentleman that works there says, yep, sure. We'll let you take it out for a loan. You can shoot it whenever you want to. So don't be surprised if you see a BAR show up sometime in a video just for fun, because I just would love to shoot one of those. Kip Kapanar, Springfield 1911, issues any remedies. And I think I mentioned that before. Just like I said, number one, magazines. Number two, ammunition. Beyond that, without actually seeing what's going on, I can't give you too much of an idea of what might remedy that. Command Center 10-8, this is my pride flag. I like that. I think that's my pride flag too. Mark Hankins, thank you for your excellent video and tag drive. You're welcome. Thanks for watching, Mark. Rabbi, got to go do homework, going to DeVry for my hairstyling diploma. Is that the Sally Struthers course? Am I dating myself by mentioning Sally Struthers? Anyway, have a great day, Rabbi. Thanks for joining in. Jeff Barrett has a long 3-minute walk to his right. Okay, I'll try to give you plenty of notice for that. LL's here from the Democratic People's Republic of Washington. Thanks for joining, LL. Dewan, if you ever come to this area, I'll put mine in your hands, let you go. I have never been in Colorado. My wife has. Her and my daughter used to make pilgrimages every year to South Dakota in order to dig for dinosaur bones out there. And they would fly into sometimes Denver and then get a rental car and drive that up to South Dakota. So they have been in Colorado, but the only time I've ever been there is in the Denver airport to change airplanes, which, by the way, supposedly was like the most haunted airport in the country. So I was always looking for ghosts whenever I was in the Denver airport. Robert KF likes the BAR. Yeah, I really would like to, even if it's just a few shots, I would love to shoot a BAR. Joe Jones, my dad carried a BAR in Korea. He loved that gun. Full auto 30-06. What's not to love? Yeah, and again, this one is probably semi-auto. I'm fairly certain it is, but still, how cool. They've also got a 50 BMG in there that I think is semi-auto. I never even knew they made a semi-auto 50 BMG M2, but they've got one there. RJL says, hello, you look well. Thank you. Please tell me I have a Mac 90 sitting in my closet since 1993. Time to sell it or leave it for my without knowing your grandkids, I don't know if they have any interest in firearms. I can't give you any advice on that. I really don't know. On one hand, it might be something they would think is cool coming down from grandpa that they could have and enjoy. On the other hand, without knowing it, I don't know if it's going to go to the first pawn shop or whoever shows up with some money that it might go who knows where. So sorry, I can't advise you on that one. Michael is talking about goats. I have no idea what that is in reference to. And wow, we've been going on for an hour and 10 minutes here. And this has been a lot of fun. Thanks to everybody for joining in. Thanks for the great conversation. This is exactly what I was hoping for this afternoon. You've all been great. This is always a lot of fun. So I have said before, I get the greatest thing I get from the YouTube experience is my interaction with all of you. So thank you very much. Jeff Tim said the trouble with the Browning M2s is you have to get 4 and in an M3 mount for a half track. Yeah, maybe I could get a mount for my Jeep. How cool would that be with an M2 on the back of my Jeep? It'd be like the old Rat Patrol TV show. Dewan just sent me an email. I did not see that come across. So let me just double check here. Oh, there it is right there. Ah, cool. That is a cool view, Dewan. And I'm assuming that's your truck. Cool truck, too. Wow. That would be a very scenic place. And again, I'm sorry I can't show that to all of you. Or at least if there's a way to do it, I don't know what that is. But that's a great view. Mountains in the background, very scenic. Very cool. RJL, 5 and 6. Yeah. They're terrorists. I'll bet at 5 and 6. Craig Benz is here. Thanks for joining, Craig. We've been going on for almost an hour and 15 minutes now. So sorry you missed all the show to this point. And I don't know how long we're going to go. What time is it even getting to be? Almost 17:15 here, Eastern Daylight Savings Time. So I don't know. Maybe we'll take it to 5:30. We'll go an hour and a half. How's that sound? So another 15 minutes or so. Henry Schmidt, of all the guns that you have possessed, which one do you regret letting go the most? Mine was a Colt 1911 made in 1927. Wow. The one I regret the most. There's a lot of them that I regret letting go. I had a limited edition Smith & Wesson. Actually, I've had a couple limited editions. 7.5-inch 629 Classic that was a power port that I wish I had held on to. I had a 5-inch 629 Classic that I wish I'd held on to. And I had I think it was a 5.5-inch 627 with an unfluted cylinder. That was a limited edition with a full underlug barrel. And I wish I'd held on to that one. As far as which one of those that I regret the most, it's probably a 3-way tie. Those are the ones that you let go because there's something else you want. And the 627 especially, I'd never fired. It was an unfired, new in the box revolver. And I thought, it's silly to have this around here and not shoot it. I should trade it on something I'm going to use. So I traded it like a moron and wish I still had it. And now I missed where I am. John G is leaving for the office. You have a great evening too, John. Thanks for joining. Mike, hi. It's easy to come here for fellowship with everyone. You have such a good. I really do. I am so proud of the community of viewers I have, and I tell people all the time I have the best viewers on YouTube. I rarely get trolls. Once in a while I do, but rarely. Mostly it's just great folks with this common shared interest in firearms around the world. I'm not sure if Vic is still here. Vic from Fallout joins us from the Czech Republic. I've got the folks that join from Guam. I've got people that come from Australia. I've got, Mark Jacobs from Belgium. People around, and just everybody's the same. Everybody's just, good people, good comments, people from all around the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America. Paulo joining in from Brazil a lot of times. Just, great folks, great attitudes. I could not be happier or more proud of the community of viewers that has built up around this channel. So thank you, all of you. Dewan, you would love it here. From the looks of that, I think you're right. Looks fantastic. Of course, I like South Dakota too. We went out there, and the one individual that we were visiting the time that I went out basically lived on top of a hill in the middle of nowhere, and he could see, all around from the top of his hill, and it's just countryside and some mountains in the distance and one thing and another. And I thought, this is the kind of place I need to live. But unfortunately, I'm back here in Ohio. I shouldn't say that. I like Ohio. I live in rural Ohio. I love Ohio farm country. I grew up on a farm. I could not get away from farm life fast. I went into the Marine Corps to get away from living on a farm. But to this day, I enjoy the Ohio countryside. I enjoy roaming fields and woods and things like that around here. So I still do love this area. I love rural Ohio. But from the photo that you sent me, I would be equally happy where you live in Colorado. So thank you, Dewan. Jeff, don't skip your dinner, Jeff. Be sure to get something to eat. Robert KF, have you done or thought of a vid on tactical shot? I've got a few shotgun videos up. If you go back through the channel, they're still up. I've got a couple with Remington 870s. I've got one with the Mossberg, and comparing it to an 870. I've got one with a tactical 1187 where I was actually modifying a hunting version of 1187 and building it into a tactical shotgun. So there are some of them up there, but not a lot. I should probably do another shotgun video sometime soon. Mark Hankins, monetization issues resolved? No. It's a constant battle with YouTube. My video today on hearing protection was not demonetized, but my last one on the Ruger PC carbine was demonetized. My video on the Canik MC9 was demonetized, and there's no rhyme or reason to it, but it is a constant battle trying to keep my videos monetized on YouTube. Were it not for my sponsors like Hot Munitions, like Optics Planet, like Targets Online, I would not be able to continue to provide the videos at the frequency that I do, especially from Hot Munitions for loaning me the firearms and sponsoring me with some of the ammunition that you see me shoot. That has been just a tremendous, tremendous blessing to me. And I appreciate their assistance, which is why I don't feel bad about trying to promote them at the end of the videos, even though that might be one of the reasons YouTube demonetizes my videos. No, Jeff, Guam did not capsize, shockingly. David Busto likes the Rat Patrol reference. Craig Benz misses his pencil barrel Smith & Wesson 10.5. Yeah, I would miss that too. Ooh, 5-inch nickel. Yeah, I would miss that one too. Robert K. Face it, we're the best viewers on YouTube. I agree. I tell people that. wait a second. Dewan, if you get here, got plenty to shoot and fishing. I'm not much of a fisherman. I never have been. I grew up with kids that like to fish. As adults, I know people like to fish. I'm just not one of them, but I appreciate the offer anyway. David Buzzo from the People's Socialist Republic of Illinois. Yeah. Yeah, I hope that when you retire, you can move and find someplace you like a whole lot better. Robert KF, stay in Ohio. Misery loves company. Terry Barnes is checking out. Have a good night, Terry. Thanks for joining. Henry Schmidt, a Smith & Wesson fan. Did you ever have a Smith & Wesson pump? I assume you mean shotgun. We had them in our squad cars. No, I didn't. I remember them. I've seen them. I never owned one, and I've never shot one. From what I understand, they were pretty decent shotguns, but I just never had one. David Buzzo going to the dentist office. Ooh, hope that goes well, David. Have a great night. Mark Hankins, the quality of your videos is very consistent and outstanding. Your experience with video production show. Hey, thank you, Mark. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you saying that, because prior to starting this YouTube channel, I had no experience in photography, videography, video editing, anything else. It has been a 10-year trek, if you will, to try to get to the point where I finally feel like my videos aren't too bad. And I'm my own worst critic when it comes to that. I watch the videos and sometimes I cringe, like, oh, I can't believe I said that, or I used that word instead of this word, or whatever else. So I'm constantly critiquing my videos and trying to improve them. So I really appreciate you saying that. Jeff Tim, don't come to Florida. Everything's too expensive and the insurance costs are. Robert KF, where's HR Fudd been late? He's still around. I got to get him back in front of the camera sometime. I had somebody comment on a video not too long ago that they didn't think I should do that because there are so many people that think firearms owners are not very intelligent and hicks and whatever else anyway. And they thought that my use of HR Fudd was kind of furthering that. I don't think so. I think it's poking fun at a lot of the people that think that way. It's sort of an inside joke, I guess. I really don't think that I'm casting firearms owners or anyone in our community in a bad light. It's just a way to have fun. But yeah, HR will be back around sometime soon, I'm sure. Russ Michael, where can I order the earbuds reviewed earlier today? From IsoTunes. If you go to that video, go down to the comment section or the description section below that, and I've got a link to the IsoTunes website. I've got the discount code listed in there. So if you go back and check on that, you'll be able to find it. And again, here are those, the earbuds that I was talking about. This is not, they're not paying me anything to talk about this. I really like these things. I use them all the time. I've been waiting to see just exactly when the battery is going to run out on these things because, and I have charged them once or twice, but I used them at a rifle match a couple of weeks ago. I used them when I was instructing last weekend, and I use them all the time, and I just really, really like them. Day one, I didn't see it on the website, but I think you mean Hop, sell brass for reloading? I don't know. They've got brass because they're loading their own ammo. I don't know if they'll sell it. If you look at the website and give them a call, you can ask them directly. I don't know if they'll sell it or not. But they will talk to you. I'll guarantee that. ALU Ministries, have fun, be yourself. Don't worry about what others say. Within reason. That's pretty much what I do. One of the things that I recognized very early on is I cannot take myself too seriously in these videos, which is why I do things like HR Fudd and whatever else. Some people get so wrapped up that there's so much ego wrapped up. They want people to believe they are a romping, stomping, man killing, gun shooting, whatever individual. And I don't do that. I don't want to be that guy. I want to be the guy that has a good time, that tries to convey the what's the word I'm looking for? The joy or the fun. That's the word I'm looking for, that I experience with shooting, with firearms. I want to pass on what I can in a cheerful manner. That's the person I want to present myself to on you, or present myself as on YouTube. So that's what I try to do. I hope you all enjoy it, and I appreciate you saying that. Craig Benz, thank you for your video this morning. First time I didn't get a notification. That's YouTube. And I mentioned earlier, I posted a announcement for this live stream 2 hours before it started. I did both a community post and I did a YouTube short video to try to get the word out. And a lot of people still didn't get that. So I am at the mercy of YouTube when it comes to trying to get information out. So I apologize you didn't get that, Craig. And we have got about 3 minutes left until we're going to wrap it up here. So if there's any last minute questions, comments, anything to throw out for the good of the order, please do so. While I get a swig of my Coke Zero to try to keep my voice going. But again, thanks to everyone who participated, for joining in the live stream. I appreciate it. For my midweek Mystique live stream, Day one, you actually take the time to interact with the reviewer, and that's important to me. It is so important to me to respond if I get comments or questions, or interact in the live streams like this. I want to maintain that relationship with all of you for as long as I can. I recognize that there could come a day when the channel gets big enough and there are enough subscribers and enough comments coming in that I really can't respond to every single comment that I get. And I don't look forward to that day. If you ask my wife, she would tell you now, I wake up in the morning, I grab my phone and I start responding to the comments that came in overnight. And sometimes that takes me quite a while. I come in here, once I get dressed and remember who I am and drink some coffee, and I'm responding to emails, I'm responding to comments, things like that, because it is so important to me to maintain that dialogue and that relationship with all of you. So I will do that for as long as I can. If the day ever comes that I just physically can't do that, then I will regret it. But I'll still probably try to respond to as many as I can. ALU Ministries, most people who act tough think they're really trying to scare the fact that they're scared to death. It's funny you say that, because I've talked a lot of times. People that are really comfortable with themselves and they know what they've done, they know what they're capable of, they are confident in their abilities, rarely ever feel the need to try to project that to other people that they interact with. I believe that for a long time. And I think I first became aware of that as a martial artist a long time ago. The really competent martial arts practitioners were just, kind of laid back, respectful, nice people. And that's been true my entire life, whether we're talking about firearms or people in the military, police officers, whatever. Don't feel the need to try to convince everybody what a whatever tough guy they are. Usually the people that really feel the need to do that are the ones just like you're describing. So I appreciate that comment. All right, everyone. It is 17:30 here on the or here in Ohio, here in the Eastern Daylight Savings Time zone. So I'm going to start to wrap things up. Thank you to everyone who joined in, who participated, who commented, who put questions out, everything. Thank you again. You are the ones who make the YouTube experience for me. I will reiterate, I have the best viewers on YouTube. Thank you. To my channel members who actually make a monthly contribution to the channel. First off, please seek medical help or therapy. But thank you. When I get months where YouTube is demonetizing lots and lots and lots of videos, you help to offset that with that contribution you're making. So thank you very much. I hope you all have a tremendous evening. I hope you have a great rest of the week. And coming into the weekend, I've got a Saturday video coming up that I hope you like. By all means, if you can join us during the premiere for that, which is going to be 8 o'clock a.m. my time on Saturday morning, I'll be there. Obviously, you won't be able to see me, but I'll be participating in the live chat. We'll have the usual crew that'll be chiming in with their comments and questions and ideas and all of that. So if you can join, I'll be there at 8 o'clock a.m. Saturday morning. So until next time, everyone, have a great day. Thanks for joining, and good shooting, and bye-bye for now.